everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sarah, and in today's video we are going to be market prepping together. My goal in this video is to make a bunch of dragons. But first things first, I think a proper recap is in order. I am market prepping for a festival I have in mid-April of next year. It's 3 days long and draws in around 100,000 people. This year is special though because it is the 50th anniversary, and I'm hoping with that the turnout will be much bigger than normal. I'm taking a risk next year and getting 2 booths instead of my normal one. So I have a 10 by 20 space, but the booth cost will be $800. So hopefully that risk pays off. Now, because of the double booth cost, I will be trying to make $25,000 in monetary value for my total inventory and hopefully take home on festival days $15,000 total. That is the goal. Now, in last video, I started doing a checklist again. I put all of my inventory together and I have about $10,500 in monetary value right now. I'll put the total on the screen. The goal is to make $15,000 more before April of next year. Let's see, what's this month? July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. I have around 9.5 months, something like that. We'll be more exact the closer we get, but I have a lot of things on my to-do list and I figured why not start with something that I want to do right now. So I'm gonna be making a ton of dragons in today's market vlog. Hopefully we can get a whole bunch of stuff done. The goal is to make 10 willows total. I already have one finished, which is that green one I made with the 2 different colors, pink and green. So I just need to make 9. I also worked on some other dragons between this video and the last video that I have not shown you all yet, so let me show you them real quick. As you all know, I have been working on a larger pattern, which is wisteria. Look at how pretty she is. And with wisteria, I wanted to make some matching willows and little wills, which I don't know if I've shown you any of this at all, so spoiler alert, they're finished. First thing first, I have classic willow here. Look how pretty she is. So cute. And the tail, of course. So she matches wisteria. And then, of course, I have little will as well. And I finished these guys yesterday. So now I have the full and complete set. Look at how pretty they are. I'm gonna be getting lots of videos of these guys together, lots of photos together too. And I'm also gonna get some measurements for those interested in that kind of stuff so that people know the difference between wisteria, willow, and little will. I also in the future wanna make a mushroom themed wisteria. So green base, mushrooms, the whole 9 yards. And I think what I wanna do is make a willow and little will to match, and that will be made out of Sweet Snuggles Light Parfait Plush. Those I'll use so that we can get like the bigger wisteria, that kind of size. Finished all these cuties. I absolutely love how they turned out. There's a moment there when you're crocheting these guys that they look really weird. That moment is when you have everything but the ears and horns joined on, but the second you add those ears and horns, it just pulls it all together. They look so cute. Look at how pretty she is. Absolutely love these guys. I'm so glad they're finished. I have to say, I love them a lot, but I don't think Parfait Chunky is the yarn for me because it is just so small, and when you're making the tiny details like the horns and stuff, my fingers just are so mad. They do not want to do that. So I think I'll definitely be sticking with Sweet Snuggles Light, Parfait Plush, that kind of yarn because it's a little bit bigger and it's less painful when it comes to those small parts, at least for me. Subject change. I'm working on a classic willow and I'm making it out of this bloom yarn. This yarn is yarn that I purchased 2 years ago, I want to say. Something like that, a year or 2 ago. I ordered a whole bunch of yarn from someone who didn't want to use Sweet Snuggles Light anymore and they had a huge surplus, so I ended up getting everything, and this yarn was in that group, and so I have now a huge surplus of flower yarn, floral yarn that I need to use. So that is what I'm doing. Starting first things first with another floral willow. The green one that I made is technically floral as well. I do have to edit a market vlog today, so crocheting is probably not going to happen very much except for right now. And then tomorrow I'm hoping to get this dragon done. But that all depends on the market vlog, how long it takes to edit. Plus I have to clean our house, you know, that kind of stuff. So chores and editing is gonna come first. But real fast, this is a pair of eyes from Traveling Pony Studios. I was so torn on eyes for this dragon because I was thinking pink would be really pretty, but then I saw these and I don't know if you can tell, but it's green and gold, and I was like, this is the perfect eye, right? It's the perfect eye for this color. So that is what I went with. As for secondary color, I'm just gonna do a basic yellow because I think it'll look really pretty, and I'm still not 100% set on the spine, but I think I'm gonna do this light pink because I think it'll be be really pretty as well. I might end up changing that to a different color, but we shall see. And I haven't fully decided on horns either. I think I'm gonna do those smaller horns that I did on that teal and white dragon. I'll put that on the screen. If that counts as teal, that greenish bluish color I can never know the name of. I think I might do horns like that on this one, or I might do classic willow horns. I just feel like they're not big enough for this dragon. My final note, because I've been talking a lot for this intro, I was working on this giant wisteria. This one's gonna be my galaxy themed one. So here's the update on that one. I'm gonna be likely working on this one too, along with the willows, the classic willows. So we'll see how much I can get done with this guy. I did end up getting some black glitter yarn. I went to Hobby Lobby. I was kind of thinking about ordering Premier's glitter yarn and double stranding that, but this one is a little bit thinner, so the double stranding makes more sense. I didn't really want to work with this yarn ever again because it's pretty stiff, but it's just so worth it on this galaxy themed dragon that I just can't say no. I ended up getting a bunch of these. I would have gotten 4 just in case, but they did not have 4. They only had 3. So we're gonna go with 3. Hopefully it's enough. We're gonna do the wings, the tail detail for sure in that shade. And then I think the toes I might just keep black, but I haven't fully decided on that yet. I am going to be embroidering stars on this, so there will be embroidery details all over this. And I'm also going to use that fancy fluff that I have, the big twist. That's green, pink, and there's no pink in it. That's green, purple, and blue. And so that will go down the spine for that pop of color. But all in all, I think this dragon will be pretty epic. And these eyes are also from Traveling Pony Studios. They have little moons and stars in them, so they're really pretty. I might figure out a way to add some purple to this as well, but I did really want this to be like a striking black dragon. Just mostly black. I think it'll look really epic. I've talked for a hot minute, so I think that's all I have for you for now. I will update you all soonish. Depends on how much crocheting I actually get done. Like I said, I got that market vlog to edit, which is probably going to take me 2 days and forever amount of time. Market vlogs always take forever, but I will get that finished and out there. I also need to get some photos of all the plushies I finished in that last market vlog. I'll check in with you all later. I have a quick update for you all. It has to do with a dragon, of course. It has to do with this dragon specifically. Look at how pretty she is. Well, it's just the start of her, but still. And I also finished the tail, which I think is perfect. Last night I stayed up a little bit later than I intended and probably should have, and I finished a bunch of pieces. So I have all of the legs done. This is what they look like. So they got yellow toes, keeping with that kind of monotone yellow theme. I also finished the ears last night, and I just have to finish the wings and add the color work, the surface crochet, that's the word. That is pretty much it. I still have this fuzzy yarn I think I'm going to end up using on this dragon. I think it'll be really pretty. It's nearly finished. I think what I'm gonna end up doing though is crocheting multiple dragons and all the parts I need for them, and then eventually sewing them together. So I think today I might just finish the pieces for this dragon. I need to figure out what I want to do with the horns, but once I do that, finish it, set this guy aside, and start another project. I haven't fully decided what that willow will be yet, but I know for sure I need a couple different red ones and a pink one for sure, a blue one. I haven't made a blue one in a while. I don't think I'll have very many yellow ones, maybe just this one, just because I find that yellow and the peachy orange color, those kind of colors are really hard to sell. Better for dragons, I think, because dragons, you can kind of imagine them coming in yellow, oranges, those kind of colors, but it is still kind of a harder sell than the classic pinks. Blue, well, how many dragons are pink? But everyone loves a pink dragon. The blues, the greens, and the reds. That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna be working on dragons, and I still have to edit a video. I did film a short though. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. I haven't made one of those in forever, so I'm gonna try and be more consistent when it comes to creating those short form videos. I think I'm gonna start cross-platform posting again and post on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, but I haven't fully decided yet just because it's a lot of work. So much work to post short form content. But the thing is, I already filmed the video. I've already edited even, so all I have to do is then post it on those platforms. So that's what I'm going to be attempting to do. That's pretty much the update. Today I need to finish editing because what is today? Today's Friday. We're gonna have family over tomorrow night, so I'll be cleaning the house in the morning. in the afternoon. So I won't be able to edit, that's for sure. Probably won't get very much crocheting done. Today is the day. I have to finish editing, get it up on YouTube, and I can release it in the morning potentially. That is the plan. I'm not sure why I'm rambling on still. So I've got 3 major things I need to do today. Finish editing, market vlog, count Wisteria's rounds out for sewing, and get this dragon finished. That's everything. So I'll check in with you probably tomorrow, maybe Sunday. We'll see what happens, but that's the update for now at least. I will be honest, it has been several days since I filmed last, and I do have some pretty good excuses for that. I mean, excuses are excuses, so you know, as good as excuses can come. One good excuse I have is that my best friend and I are doing a walking challenge. We're both aiming for 15,000 steps every day for a week, and it's been 2 days of that. If you've never walked 15,000 steps before in one day, you have to be really purposeful. You really gotta go do something active all day. And in this case, I don't do that. As you all know, I crochet. So most of the time I'm not doing something crazy active, so it has been a lot of making sure I actually walk. Now, while I walk on the treadmill, I have been crocheting more than anything. I do play a video game too sometimes when I walk on the treadmill. It just kind of depends. Walking while crocheting is fairly easy. The only thing is that it should be a smaller project or smaller pieces on a larger project, because it becomes really difficult to actually crochet. For example, the large body of Willow, it's very difficult to actually crochet that while walking because there's nothing to put like the majority of that weight on while you're walking. That's my one tip if you needed any for walking while crocheting. I guess I'll stop procrastinating and address the elephant in the room. I know that I said that I would be crocheting dragons only, but while I was walking on the treadmill one day, I just wanted to make something a little simpler, so I made this elephant, okay? Look at how cute he is. I wanted to make an elephant out of this colorway for a long time, so I just decided to do it. These are 25mm eyes from Traveling Pony Studios, and I didn't have the perfect shade of blue, so I just went with a lighter white color. Here's the tail. I love it. This is some acrylic yarn I have on hand. Blue toes to keep the blue theme going, and this guy is just super cute. Worth it. Took me about a day to make, so I do only want to make 1 or 2 more of these guys though, so we'll see what ends up being the next color. I also worked on this yellow dragon here, and I know that I said that I would probably make all the parts and then sew everything together, but I changed my mind. Clearly, and I decided to just finish this yellow one before moving on to the pink one I'm currently working on. The pink one is epic looking. Look at super pink. Look at the tail. Was this a little tedious to do? Yes, but super worth it. I've told you all when I found that hot pink yarn, I need to do something with it. So that's what we're doing. We're doing something with it. Guess I should show the yellow dragon off too, huh? Both of these eyes are from Traveling Pony Studios. This is a 30mm eye. I thought this one was absolutely perfect because it's got green and gold. It just matches the base yarn perfectly. But I ended up doing basic horns with just cream, no extra details. For the pink dragon, I'm doing these kind of horns. And for anyone curious, these horns are really simple. I'll put the basic idea of them on the screen, but essentially what you do is you start with a magic ring of 4 and then you increase once for every single round, and you just keep doing that until the horn is as long as you want it to be. For these guys, I did that until I had 12 stitches around, and for these ones I did it until I had 14 stitches around. So very basic horn, and I'll put that kind of pattern on the screen. You guys can screenshot it if you want. That is just how I do my horns. I've had questions about that, but that's just the basic horn for me. There comes a certain point where if you make them longer than 14 stitches around, the actual horn might start looking a little weird. Because if you go to my epic horn tutorial, that one right there, if you follow it, you could see that we switch it up so we're not just increasing, we're doing some half double crochet, stuff like that for some shaping. But if you just continue to do the increases, then it might start looking a little weird after a certain point. I figured I should just put that disclaimer on there. As of this morning, I need to walk, of course, and get my steps in, and then I also am going to be baking a cake. Yes, those are 2 opposite things. So that's what I'm doing today. I might put a photo of what that cake looks like if you all are interested. If you have been here since Christmas, you know that I'm a baker as well as a crocheter. And if you've been here earlier than that, you might have heard when I was talking about kind of my dreams and I would love to have some sort of bakery crochet spot situation, but that's definitely not something happening right now. That is a couple decades out at least. But you know, one day maybe things will line up like that, but for now I just bake for myself and my family and crochet for everyone else. So maybe one day I'll do both for everyone else. That, I think, is what I've been working on. I've just worked on the dragon and the yellow dragon. So happy to say the yellow dragon is finished. So far I've finished 4 items, I think. So the willow, the elephant, and then the 2 wisteria. And this guy will be finished pretty quickly here as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, these eyes are also from Traveling Pony Studios. They were the only pair of pink eyes I had left in 30mm, so I went with them, and they ended up being the perfect choice. I'm gonna be working on these dragons and we'll just see what happens after that. I'm thinking I need a blue dragon, but we'll see. I want to be inspired for my next one so I don't get too bored. That is all I have for you, so I will check in with you in the next couple of days and we'll just see where we're at. Alrighty, y'all have seen the yellow one finished and the blue elephant, but I finished sewing together the pink one yesterday. Look at how beautiful. I absolutely love her. And the tail, everything is just perfect. Color palette, the hot pink fluff, the horns, all of the above. Of course, the eyes too. Absolutely stunning. I don't think I'm going to be adding flowers to her just yet, but if you all think that I should add flowers to any particular dragon in this video, let me know. I'm just a little torn because I think they sell better without the details because they're a little bit more generic than with the flowers. I think the flowers instantly make something more girly. Like for example, this yellow dragon, I'm not sure if flowers would suit it or not. I'll take your guys' opinions if you have them. I'm about to start another dragon as well. I didn't do much crocheting yesterday because I was having a bit of hand pain, so I decided to take it slow and just finish sewing this willow together. But I did pick yarn for another dragon. First things first, I picked the eyes because these eyes are absolutely stunning. They're one of my favorite pairs from Traveling Pony Studios. They are blue with hints of purple in there, and they are just beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these guys, and my plan right now is to make the base out of Naughty Pony blue. Just the shade of it I think matches the eyes a little bit better than Sweet Snow's light blue. And then I'm also thinking of pairing it with this Burnette. So I'm not sure how that will look pairing Burnette and Naughty Pony, but I think the Burnette blanket has a little bit of that purpley tone in it. I'm gonna give it a shot. The wings will probably be a little oversized compared to classic Willow, since that will be made out of Burnette, and then the tail will also be made out of Burnette, but I am going to be keeping the hook size consistent, so it should look somewhat okay. I have it put together in my project bag, and I'm going to work on that a little bit today. I also have some things I need to do in the online sphere, and I just need to do that. I need to edit a video for this weekend. I also need to reply to comments. I haven't done that in a while, so please forgive me. I am always behind. It just takes me a little while to respond to everyone. I've gotten more streamlined with it recently, where I just heart things that don't necessarily need a reply, because if I replied to every comment, I would be there for literally days, and I just can't keep up. So anyways, I'm doing my best in that, but I do see all of your guys' comments. It's just not everything I can reply to. I'm sure you all understand. It's just me. It's just one person. I'm doing all the editing. I'm doing all of the comment replying, and I want to keep it that way because I think it's more genuine. This is my business, and I want to present that to you guys in that this is me. This isn't somebody else editing my videos and trying to emulate my style. This is just me. And one of the reasons I bring that up is I've had a lot of people, random people, email me about sponsorships and editing. Tons of people asking if they can edit my videos for me. That would probably never happen. I would sooner release videos once a month than have somebody else edit for me, because it's just not the same. Plus, crochet is more complicated. You have to know how to crochet and edit. Anyways, I'm kind of just going on a tangent here. I'm going to check in with you all probably tomorrow if I get some crocheting done. If I just work on my computer all day today, then I'll have to update you later later because I'll have done nothing interesting. Y'all have seen the yellow dragon and the pink dragon, but here's what the blue dragon is looking like so far. So I ended up doing spikes on this guy instead of fluff because the fluff I have, it just wasn't the right shade. Spikes it was, or is. I plan on making this dragon fully monotone. So just these two colors, and my plan is to make the horns light blue, very similar to the pink dragon, and so I'll make them light blue for the base and then add burlap blanket over it so that it has the two colors. The only reason I don't love doing that now is because I find in photos the horns and the wings tend to blend into each other if they're the same color. I'm thinking with the light blue, so it's not entirely one color, that it will stand out better. Does that make sense? Hopefully so. This is what I'm working on. I finished the wings. Well, for the most part. And then I also have the ears, so that's all I have to make now are the horns. So I'm gonna get that done shortly and finish this guy today. That is the plan. I also have to edit and reply to comments some more today, so I'll be doing a bit of that. But while I was replying to comments last night, I saw somebody suggested I do a black and white dragon, which is such a good idea. I can't believe I haven't done it sooner. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do that when this dragon is finished. So do a black and white. I'm thinking the white will be the base and black will be the details. Have a nice black fluffy yarn that'll be perfect for the spine. It's very striking. That is the plan. The only concern with that is that I don't really have the best eye selection for specifically a black and white dragon, so I'm gonna look through my stash again in a little bit here and see if I can find something that'll work for that. I don't want it to be too colorful, but I don't know, maybe I should make the eyes super colorful and make everything else, the eyes will stand out better that way at least. Last thing, if anyone's curious how I did the spikes, the spike pattern will be on the screen. It's fairly simple, so what you do is you slip stitch, you skip around, and you single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in second chain, single crochet in that same stitch, and then you skip around and you slip stitch. You repeat that over and over again until you have as many spikes as you want. Now you could skip more or less rounds between each slip stitch, but I find that it looks best if you just skip around between every piece. So, you know, experiment as you will. That is everything I've got for you for now, so I'll check in with you in a little bit with another dragon. Hey look, it's Buddy. I haven't shown you guys any of the cats in forever, but here's Arthur, my baby. There he goes. Alrighty, what I'm here to show you is the blue dragon, which she is finished. I did continue on with the color scheme and just kept Naughty Pony and Burlap Blanket as the color. It looks super cute and the eyes match really well. So I'm pretty happy about that. I also started another project, which is the black and white dragon. I'm pretty certain I told you all I wanted to make a black and white dragon. I decided I want to keep it kind of like a clown theme. So here's the start of it. I just have the body done. Look at the tail. I think it looks pretty cool. So my plan, also here are the eyes. These are some of my original eyes from Traveling Pony Studios. Like one of the only pairs that I have left from my first order with her. And I figured these eyes were perfect for a clown theme. Hopefully you can see them pretty well, but they're red with yellow and blue. The tail, I want to comment on that. I plan on doing a black wing on this side and then a stripy wing on the other side. So I'm gonna keep that stripy theme. I don't want it to be all stripes, so I'm doing some solid blocks of color and striping, and I think it's gonna be really cool. So I already started on the wing. It's just simple, it's black. The next wing will be striped, and I think it'll look really cool. But here's that other wing. Just barely started on it. My only complaint with Naughty Pony black yarn is that you can see all fibers so easily on it, which is kind of annoying, but you just can't beat crocheting with it because it crochets so smooth. It's just a really good yarn. It's all perfect and always. I absolutely love it. Well, except for the one way I listed. I'm gonna be working on this dragon. Buddy has gotten kitty hair all over me, so I'm gonna go find a lint roller before I continue the dragon. But think I'm gonna add some bells to this dragon, and I also think I'm gonna do big horns, big long horns with black and white bells on those as well. And I'm also thinking for the feet, I want to have some cuffs. So I'm almost thinking of making like the feet alternating white and then black. So 2 black, where like just the feet, the very bottom of the leg is black with the cuff being black, and then the rest of the leg will be white, so it blends in a bit better with the body. 2 of them will be white with a white cuff, and I don't know how that'll look, so I'm gonna do some experimenting. That might be just a horrible idea and I might scrap that entirely, but I think it'll look pretty cool. I also have some black fuzzy yarn that I'm gonna use for the spine because this is, I think, the perfect shade, very striking. I was kind of contemplating switching between black and white fluff, but I think I'm just gonna stick with black in this case because I think it'll look a little bit more striking. And Buddy's back. Isn't he cute? Aw. But he is cute, that's for sure. Alrighty then, Buddy and I will check in with you in a little bit when this black and white dragon has progressed more. We'll see what happens with it. I'm pretty excited. Gonna stick with the clown theme and we're just gonna see how it turns out. I have no idea if I showed you any of this dragon, so please excuse me if this comes as a complete surprise. It's been a couple days since I filmed. I've been pretty busy and I haven't even finished a dragon since I last updated you, so it's been a little chaotic around here, but I'm working on a white and black dragon. Ta-da! So I've decided to go with kind of a justery clown mime theme. Haven't settled on a description for this guy yet. He's looking pretty cool so far. I gave him some fun foot details, and then for the tail I ended up doing striped on one half and solid on the other, which I think turned out pretty cool, all things considered. And then I have the eyes from Traveling Pony Studios. This is from my original order with her, so it's nice to use one of the last pairs I have, but it's red, blue, and yellow, which I thought was perfect. I've also finished all the other pieces for the dragon. I have the wings here, so I ended up doing one striped and one black, and it's gonna be switched with the tail. My mom also said that this is very Tim Burton, so maybe that's what I'll name it, something along those lines. I also have the horns, which I decided to go with epic ones. They're gonna go on there kind of like that, almost. I also made the ears, so I just need to sew on all these pieces, and then the dragon will be close to finished. I think for this guy I want to add bells. I have a ton of bells from a long time ago. Several years ago, I think before I even started my YouTube channel. So these bells, I would love to use a few of them. They're silver though, which I think works pretty well. My current idea is to use them on the horns. I'm thinking maybe like 1, 2, and 3. It kind of depends on how the horns sit, so I haven't decided on that yet. But I will be doing some bells on it, hopefully. I think it'll look cute. My dad suggested I make like a neck piece and use bells because that's more clown-like, so I was thinking that could be really cool, kind of tie in the feet a bit more too, but I might look up some inspiration and decide. Also asked my best friend, she's a clown expert I think, so she told me she likes clowns, so she's got to know more about it than I do. I want to finish this dragon with you all, so we're going to do this together. Hopefully finish it this evening. Ideally, I'd like to be in bed in an hour and a half or less, so hopefully I can get this sewn together before then. Once I get this guy finished, I'll have 5 willows complete, so I'll be halfway there. Oh, before we do that, I did want to show you my Patreon eyes from Carrie. Traveling Pony Studios, that is. Sorry for the crinkling. This was sitting on the desk next to me and I still managed to forget about its existence until I stopped filming. The theme this month was ice cream, which is always a delicious flavor, right? 30 millimeters. I think she called them coffee. They are beautiful. So they're kind of gold, but a little bit more brown, more coffee flavored. And then I think she said this is sherbet, and to be honest, I don't know what this other one she called it, but it is just as pretty, super gorgeous. I actually really love, she asked me which one was my favorite. I can't believe she did this to me. I can't decide on a favorite. I think the sherbet is so pretty though. I absolutely love the lighter blue with the pink glitter. I love it. But the coffee is so practical, you know, I can see a lot of projects being made out of it. Speaking of projects, I do have a custom order for a family member, that's the word, and it's her birthday at the beginning of August, so I have a couple weeks to do that, and it's gonna be a deer. I don't think I can get away with using these 30 millimeters, but I'll look through my 20 millimeter stash first because I do have a lot of 20 millimeters, and then if I can't find anything that'll work, I think I might ask for a rush order because the coffee's just the perfect color for that deer. I mean, look at it. It screams deer, but I don't know. We'll see about that. Anyways, now that I've done that, let's go ahead and finish this black and white clown gesture Tim Burton dragon together. Here is what the Jester Dragon is looking like. I think Jester is probably the best description for this guy. Here's what he looks like though. Super cool. I do have to weave in these ends, which is the only reason he's not 100% finished right now, because weaving in these ends is going to be very tedious. I ended up making this collar piece, which I freehanded of course, and then to add the bells I ended up sewing like a border and then attaching the bells as I went. I didn't want to crochet the bells in because I was worried if they ever cut the yarn in any way, because it's metal, things happen. I didn't want the whole piece to fall apart, just the border part, so that's why I ended up doing that as a separate piece. I actually don't think this will break easily at all, but like I said, you never know. Just in case. It looks really cute. It obviously makes a very satisfying sound. I obviously need to take the 10 minutes and finish this dragon. And then when I finish this dragon, I'm going to be moving on to a couple different projects. First and foremost, I need to crochet a deer. I think I mentioned this already, but this was the deer I made for the space video I did. That didn't go anywhere, but the nice part about still having this deer is that I can use this pattern to crochet a bigger version for a custom order. I ended up picking these eyes from my stash. Let's see if it'll focus. Come on, there we go. They are more gold than anything, but obviously different lighting looks a little different. I figured this goldish shade will work best, and it should look cute. Not sure why the power flickered. Anyway, so the main color is going to be this. Obviously, very deer color. I got some brown for the hooves and the nose section, and then cream also for the underside of the tail, the face, and the spots on the back, because she wants spots. Now, I haven't decided on horns yet, or antlers yet. I think we want to go with like a girl deer, or like a fawn even. So, I don't know. I'm gonna look up some inspo pictures. I'm also thinking of embroidering some flowers onto this deer, because I think she'll really like that. That is the next project I need to work on. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna weave in these ends. Jester Dragon will be finished for now at least, and I'll have finished half of the willows I wanted to make. I was really hoping that I would finish a lot more dragons this video, but you know what? Hold on. Let me crochet while I talk to you. I found that my last two 5mm hooks I bought from Hobby Lobby have broken, so the hook part has disconnected from the plastic part. So I ended up going back to my old one where the handle fell off. Not ideal situation, but at least the crochet hook isn't spinning around slash falling off. It's definitely annoying situation. It seems like I'm not the only one though. I had a couple comments, people talking about the same issue, so I guess they're manufacturing them wrong accidentally. If you all have any good hook brands, anything you'd recommend, I don't mind if they're too expensive, because hopefully that means I have to buy them less, right? Because I'm replacing my Hobby Lobby hooks all the time. The only thing that I need is a hook that is, I think it's tapered. I do not like the inline hooks because they're so sharp, and I really like my hook to be super smooth. So anyone knows of any good hooks out there, I will make sure to check them out. What I want to talk about was I was on a schedule filming my market vlogs where I would go every 2 weeks, and then on that third week I'd start filming the new video and start editing the previous one. Hopefully that makes sense. That way I have a full week to edit instead of just a couple days. But somehow I'm off that schedule. I think when I got sick I lost a week somehow, and I have no idea where it went. That is why my videos are probably a little all over the place right now. I don't know where time is going. Time is just disappearing, to be honest. I can't be too mad. I did crochet quite a bit. Let's just go ahead and get into the totals, because why not? Alright, I think I'm in the clear. Our dog is very loud right now because we had to get our AC fixed, so a couple people showed up. He doesn't know, and he can't just shush. Now, I do have to say that that AC, that was an expensive fix, so thank you all so much for your support, because without this, we actually wouldn't have been able to afford it right now, and it was absolutely sweltering up here, so it needed to be fixed. Another random issue we're having is that one of our cats has an eye injury, so I'm taking him in Friday for a vet appointment, and hopefully that isn't too expensive either, and we can get him some care for that. He has been perfectly healthy besides that. He's also one of our most expensive cats because he had full urinary blockage, urinary infection, and we had to take him to the emergency vet over the weekends. You guys can imagine how much that was. He's just keeping us on our toes. To the numbers. That's what I was on about. Guys, I'm all over the place. You're gonna have to excuse me. What I've crocheted over the last 12 days, I think. I ended up crocheting the wisteria, the little guys. So I got Willow with the wisteria theme and Little Will with the wisteria theme. I need to take these guys out and take photos with wisteria so that she can go to her new home. The person who wants her is very excited to have her, so as soon as it is not fully storming outside, which it's supposed to do for a while, as soon as that's the case, I will be out there taking some more woodland photos. I'm gonna hopefully find some nice spots to take photos. I also crocheted the elephant, this blue elephant down here. Not all dragons in this video, but mostly dragons. I also crocheted 3 classic willows. So the reason I say 3 is because I'm going to be charging a little bit more for the Jester dragon than I will for these more simple dragons. These guys just have a little bit less details and a little bit less brain power went into them. So I'm going to be charging 100 even for the dragons, and then I'm going to charge 110 for the Jester dragon. I could probably charge a little bit more for our Tim Burton-esque dragon, but I think we'll just leave it at 110 for now. I think I mentioned this in my last video, but I might be changing prices and quantities, that kind of stuff, closer to the event. So a lot of this is just to give me a ballpark estimate of the amount of inventory I have. But all in all, I ended up crocheting 7 items, which is a pretty low number for me, but these are all larger items, so I can't be too mad about that. I ended up making $590 worth of inventory in the last less than 2 weeks. I have 357 items, and my monetary value is 11,226, I think is the number I wrote. Yeah, it looks right to me. That is not a bad number to be at, I don't think. Let's see, I've got August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, and April. I have 9 months, give or take, because the event is in the middle of April. We still have the second, well, it's kind of past the second half of July, isn't it? It's on the 21st. I have 9 months, just around there, to get all the inventory made, so I'm not too upset with that number. I definitely need to focus and get crocheting. Once I finish this deer for a family member for me. My brain doesn't work. If it did, I wouldn't have to edit. Anyways, once I finish this deer, I am going to think about what I want to crochet next. Yes, I just said that with a straight face. I think I want to work on some smaller items, so I might go through my smaller item bin and get a proper head count on colors for my chickens and stuff, and then get crocheting on that. I really want to remake, not remake, but I want to make a bunch of new possums with embroidered eyes, I think. I think I'll probably make around 50 of them. It doesn't matter how many of the other ones I have left over still, but I think I'll make around 50 and leave it at that. I don't think I need 100 possums. They took 2 years to sell when I did that, so we'll stick with the 50 at the 50 mark. I also want to make more chickens. I do have a lot of chickens left over, but I'm going to go through and remake the ones that sold well. And I also want to make a bunch of roosters because I have a feeling those guys are going to sell really well. I mentioned this in my last video or the one before that. I mentioned that in general, that I want to use baskets more for the table. I'm gonna be using the baskets on the tables for the smaller items, except for maybe the chickens, which I'm trying to get my dad to build me a chicken coop. So when he has free time, I'm gonna make him do that for me, and we're gonna do that together. But I figured a cute little chicken coop. I found that the chickens sold best for me when they were displayed higher up, like on open shelves pretty much, and I can't do that with baskets on the table. I think the chickens are really the only plushies that aren't gonna do well in baskets. At least they won't look very good in baskets. I want to make some more octos, more whales. Those ones, I'll be honest, the octos and whales are not my best seller, but I always want to have options on the table that are on the less expensive end, more inexpensive plushies, because not everyone can justify spending $100 on a plushie. So I want to make sure I have the $10 to $12 to $15 range covered for all of that. Anyways, I've just been rambling on for 10 minutes straight. I'm running out of camera video card space. So let's wrap this up. Make sure to check out my Etsy shop if you haven't already, because I have a wonderful discount code for all you amazing people who watch to the end. It is single crochet in all caps. You get 10% off your total order at checkout. I still haven't put all the patterns that I've created in there, but I'm gonna do that in this next week or so and get that finished. I only have so many patterns left to finish, so I should just do it and stop procrastinating. I'm gonna work on that. I'm also working on the wisteria pattern. I did some revising yesterday. I'm gonna do some more revising today. Testers are testing. I'll make sure to shout them out again in the next video because I think most of them will be done at that point, hopefully. The pattern is looking really pretty. I'm very excited about it. I know I've made you guys wait for so long, but it is coming, I promise. I think that is it. In my next video, I'm gonna be working on this giant galaxy dragon because I need to finish this for the wisteria pattern, at least get it closer to finished because I want to include 2 different horn types in the pattern. So stay tuned for that. I'm also working on a project which will have its own separate video. I'm going to show you the yarn I'm using. So these are the colors I'm using. You might be able to guess what I'm working on, and hint, it is not my pattern. Hopefully you all enjoy that video. It might be the next one, or it might be a while in the future. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes me to make it. And that is officially it. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said earlier, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you later. Bye!